tradition. So we will not let go.
Hear the call of change. Stand up, Nigeria. Change is here and it's going to stay. Change begins with you. Oh yeah, make we go. Dirty soul, so let it change begin from within. Look at you, oh Geruola. Change begins with you and me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me. Change begins with me.
Nigeria, the giant of Africa, covers a total land area of about 923,768 square kilometers. 910,768 square kilometers is covered by land, while water takes the remaining 13,000 square kilometers. The entire country is highly blessed as it enjoys benefits brought by the vegetation zones that nature has gracefully endowed Nigeria with. From the rainforest, freshwater swamp, Guinea savanna, Sudan savanna to Sahel savanna, Nigeria is indeed on top of the world. Also blessed with enormous tourism potentials, unequaled deposits of mineral resources, and vast land for agricultural practices of choice, Nigeria is open for investment. All these are accompanied by a wonderful and hospitable people of diverse and charming cultures. Come and invest in Nigeria, the land of abundance and hospitality.
Hello and welcome to the news at 7 on NT International. I am Kende Olale. Now the headlines. President Muhammadu Buhari reacts to recent attacks on his administration, says those politicizing isolated incidents on insecurity are not patriotic. Presidential election petition court admits of video evidence where INEC clarified that election results would not be transmitted electronically. National Emergency Management Agency and Federal Fire Service redefines collaboration for effective disaster management. Plus, a night concert set to penetrate African market to maximize return on investment on satellite connectivity. And now the news in details. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally broken his silence over the recent attacks on his administration from certain quarters, saying those who politicize isolated incidents of insecurity and neither patriotic nor have the interest of the country at heart. The president stated this while exchanging views with a delegation of the Buhari campaign organization on a solidarity visit. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
The delegation of the Buhari campaign organization, comprising the national and state executive as well as board of trustee members, was in the State House to interface with the president on the state of the nation and the best way forward. President Buhari, who appreciated their contributions towards his re-election, reassured them that the governing APC will not be disappointing.
I assure you and Nigerians that we will not relent in our efforts to secure the country from criminal activities. Those who politicize the isolated instance of insecurity are not patriotic Nigerians. This administration will use all the resources at its disposal to protect the lives and properties of all Nigerians, and not just prominent Nigerians or those who make headlines.
The federal government, he maintained, will continue to be tough on the menace of corruption as efforts are being intensified towards fulfilling the promise of lifting 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years.
I want to reassure you that Nigeria is open for business, as no country in the world has achieved rapid economic growth without significant foreign direct investment. We are keeping our currency steady and are adopting pro-business policies to encourage private sector investment. Policies put in place to support farmers and small businesses are yielding positive results, and we are determined to integrate them into the larger economy.
Both the coordinator of the Buhari campaign organization, Danladi Pasali, and the national grand patron, Senator Abba Ali, reassured Nigerians that the Buhari administration will indeed take Nigeria to the next level of development for a sustainable future of the country.
We are ever ready to continue supporting this administration to actualize its set objectives, policies, principles, so as to consolidate on the previous feast, as the journey to the next level of our country development is on the right track.
We shall continue to pray for you and for this country so that you leave a legacy in this country that will never be forgotten.
Some members of the organization speak on their takeaways from the interactive session with the president.
I'm taking away from the president's promise and commitments that he is going to continue and he will not relent in his effort to provide security and welfare to Nigerians. And very sure the president will not fail the nation.
He is an excellent person. Nigeria should be very grateful to have him now as the leader driving the country. And I believe that Sky will be the starting point.
And whenever his term finishes, whoever he so wishes to continue his foundation, we are behind that person.
The Buhari campaign organization has proposed the establishment of Muhammadu Buhari Foundation as a deliberate attempt towards upholding and sustaining the ideals and principles of the Nigerian leader for a greater Nigeria. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The Senate has called on the federal government to engage the Non-Academic Staff Union of Universities and Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities to vet the notice of strike issued by both unions. The motion moved by Senator Jibrin Beral advised the unions to meet with the Academic Staff Union of Universities to address perceived gray areas. Senator Ayo Akin-Yelure drew the attention of the Senate to the murder of Funke Olakunrin along Akure-Ore Expressway, as the Senate urged the Inspector General of Police to intensify effort in apprehending and prosecuting the perpetrators. In the same vein, the House of Representatives has urged the federal government to put stringent measures to address insecurity on the highways across the country. This followed a motion brought before it at Tuesday's plenary by Isaac Adedayo, representing Ondo State, in collaboration with 9 other members, on the need to investigate the killings of Mrs. Funke Olakunrin on Friday, 12th July. Deliberating on the matter, members believe that the Nigerian police is being overwhelmed by the prevailing security issues across the country. The House will resolve to send delegation to condole with the family, and the government of Ondo State urged the Inspector General of Police and other security agencies to fish out perpetrators and bring them to justice. The House also urged the security agencies to collaborate adequately in the areas of intelligence gathering and sharing mechanism, as well as ensure closed-circuit cameras are mounted on the streets of major cities as a measure to curb the act. Moving on now, the Presidential Election Petition Court has admitted in evidence the electronically generated evidence where the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakub, cleared the air that election results would not be transmitted electronically due to communication challenges. Counsel to President Muhammadu Buhari, Alex Izion, SAN, took the leave of the court to tender in evidence the compact disc and the document containing its certification. Dele Atumbi reports.
The two documents which the Presidential Election Petition Court admitted in evidence were tendered during the cross-examination of the spokesman of the first petitioner, Atiku Abubakar. The video clip contained an interview which the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, granted on February 6, 2019. In the disc played in the opened court, Professor Yakubu identified 4 grounds why the electoral body would not be able to transmit election results electronically. Professor Yakubu averred that this is due to identified blind spots in which some parts of Nigeria were not covered by any communications network. It will be difficult to transmit election results electronically. Professor Yakubu also identified security challenge regarding cybercrime as another reason for the Commission's inability to transmit election results electronically. While counsel to INEC, Usman Ustaz SAN, and Akinolu Jimmy SAN, counsel to the APC, did not object to the admissibility of the evidence, counsel to the petitioners, Chris Uche SAN, objected to the admissibility of the two documents. PDP and its candidate Atiku Abubakar have called additional 9 witnesses at the hearing of the petition. This brings to 49 the witnesses the petitioners have called since the commencement of the hearing of the substantive matter.
He stated the logistics aspect, the fact that not all the areas are covered by internet, and that if they do so, some places will not get it at all. And unfortunately, even Section 52 of the Electoral Act says you must never, and you can never transmit election results electronically. It's prohibited. Yes, it's prohibited. And Supreme Court has decided that you cannot do it in Ipeazu and Oti. So I don't know what we are quarreling about.
Other counsel in the matter declined comments. By the agreement of all counsel, the petitioners have 10 days to call their witnesses, and this Tuesday's hearing marks the 8th day. Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
10 persons, including 3 children and the owner of the collapsed building in Dilimi area of Jos Metropolis, have so far been confirmed dead. Zered Dingmom, who was at the site, reports that search and rescue operations is still ongoing to recover 2 other persons suspected to be under the debris.
In addition to the 7 casualties evacuated from the rubble of the collapsed building yesterday, 4 more bodies have been evacuated, among which are 3 children who were confirmed dead, making a total of 10 dead people who are reported to have been buried, while 1 person is said to be at the intensive care unit of the Bingham Teaching Hospital.
Today in the morning, around 6:30, the evacuation process started. 3 children were evacuated, and in the last 15 minutes, an adult was evacuated too. They are all not responding.
The governor of Plateau State, represented, who was there to sympathize with the people of the community, also assured them of government's decisions to put adequate machineries in place to forestall future occurrences.
These things that happen are not the creation of anybody, but we ourselves. So we should be on the lookout to see that we prevent, reoccurrences. That from now onwards, JMDB, Lands and Survey, and the security agencies will move street to street, identify buildings that are not properly structured, mark them for demolition, and we are going to demolish them.
The regulatory authorities should take up responsibilities, because we cannot afford to be losing human lives with this kind of carelessness. I call this carelessness because it is avoidable. If they are inspecting properly and standards are being observed, we will not record this.
Both the security officials and disaster management teams are still working on the site for proper and complete evacuation of the site. In Jos, Zenra Dingmun, NTA News.
The regularities of disaster occurring in Nigeria requires high-level collaboration among agencies, which mandate is to mitigate and remediate disaster. This dominated discussion at an emergency meeting of the National Emergency Management Agency and the Federal Fire Service. This is geared towards strengthening collaboration for effective management of disaster in the country. Ilyasu Ali Yakubu reports.
Management of natural disasters has been a Herculean task in the country. This is due to lack of facilities in stemming it and a lack of synergy among the managing agencies. This impromptu visit by the Controller General of the Federal Fire Service, Liman Ibrahim, to the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to midwife collaboration between the two agencies might change the narratives. With firefighting trucks and other equipment provided by the federal government to the fire service, the Controller General told NEMA DG that the agency is battle ready to withstand pressure, being agencies that are almost all the time on the edge.
Our primary aim of coming here is to show you that fire service is with you 100%.
Director General Mustafa Mehajja expressed readiness to create more response units that will accommodate many agencies in the fight against disaster in the country.
And fire service being one of the key core stakeholders in response to disaster, they are also responsible for some of the disasters that are known in this country, civil lives and properties.
The meeting is coming when NEMA is working to remediate disasters in the country. In Abuja, Ilyasu Ali Yakubu, NTA News.
As the world population continues to increase by the minute, some Nigerians are drawing the attention of policymakers to issues affecting women and young people, especially those living with HIV/AIDS. This was at a rally organized by the International Community of Women Living with HIV in West Africa. The report. Anita Ikwe was born with HIV, and for 22 years, she has been stigmatized by people who are aware of her status. Anita has not let her condition deter her, as she is today standing with other women and girls living with HIV and AIDS to demand a better living condition.
If you're not 18, you can't access any sexual reproductive health rights services, which include family planning, safe abortion, issues of condoms, and all of that. And so we have challenges in assessing such. So most of us hardly go to the facilities for such services, you understand? And which this is a barrier and an obstacle into bringing an end to reinfection.
The adverse effects of the continuous increase in world population on development, experts say, cannot be overemphasized. This is why the International Community of Women Living with HIV in West Africa is advocating that world leaders, policymakers, grassroots organizers, institutions, and other stakeholders look into the issues of family planning, maternal and child health, poverty, right to health, adolescent pregnancy, girl-child education, child marriage, and sexually transmitted infections.
They should remember that we are people and we have our human rights. Health is paramount to everybody, irrespective of who you are.
The United Nations estimated the world population to be above 7 billion now. And if the issues leading to this rapid growth are not addressed, the world is projected to hit 8 billion people by 2030. And that is what Anita and others here want to draw attention to. You're watching the news on NT International, and we'll go for a short break now. More news when we return. Welcome back. The Nigerian Communication Satellite Limited says NICOMSAT is set to penetrate the market of some African countries to enable Nigeria maximize return on investment on satellite connectivity. This was made known at a strategic business forum between NICOMSAT and channel partners in Abuja. Adebola Brookston Sunday reports.
Records from the International Telecommunication Union (ITU) reveal that the communication satellite market is dominated by major players not based in Africa. With the number of internet users projected to hit 200 million in Nigeria by the year 2023, the need to accelerate investment in the digital economy to bridge the gap between Africa and the rest of the world form the thrust of the Strategic Business Forum. Executive Director Supply Services Mohammed Abubakar affirmed that NICOMSAT remains the flagship of the industry in Africa with the state-of-the-art facility.
NICOMSAT has footprints in all the West African sub-region. So our strategy in reaching out to the African countries is to actually step up our publicity. Just recently we acquired a new hub which is more robust in terms of technology. It is the latest technology for providing internet services to our rural areas.
Ghanaian telecommunication experts Adolf Besese is one of the partners and focal persons NICOMSAT is collaborating with for the penetration.
It's just a matter of populating those footprints and then Nigeria can be able to serve the entire of Africa. You already have what we call undersea cables coming to the country. So when it comes to interconnectivity with countries or uplink to international streams, you already have it.
NICOMSAT 1R was relaunched in 2011 and has been in orbit since then with a view to launch another for efficient service delivery. Adebola Brookston Sunday, NTA News.
For news from the financial sector, here is Olayinka Ojo.
Welcome to Business News. The National Bureau of Statistics says the average price for refilling of a 5-kilogram cylinder of cooking gas decreased to 1,995 naira in June from 2,028 naira in May this year. The Bureau revealed this in its liquefied petroleum cooking gas price watch for June, obtained from its website Tuesday in Abuja. The NBS said that the price of refilling a 5-kilogram cylinder of cooking gas dropped by 1.6% month on month. Tinkan Island Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has processed 150,930 metric tons of export with free on board value of 68.88 billion naira from the port between January and June this year. This is compared with 118,452 metric tons of goods exported through the ports with free on board of 63.10 billion naira within corresponding period of 2018. The command's controller Baba Abdullahi Musa said his unit generated 179.2 billion naira in the first half of 2019. Let's now take a quick check on how the equities market fared this Tuesday. I am Olayinka Ojo.
The managing director of the International Monetary Fund, IMF, Christina Lagarde, has resigned. Lagarde's resignation takes effect from September 12, 2019. A statement said the IMF Executive Board has accepted a resignation from the fund. Also, German Defense Minister Ursula von der Leyen has been confirmed the President of the European Union Commission, considered the most powerful job in the European Union. For details of this and more, let's join Ilyasu Yakubu.